So 2019 from Mom and me and Rosie involved traveling primarily. We had been at Rich and Laura's house. We left there and went south and picked up Interstate 70. We took that east toward Denver, and when we got to Denver, we obviously turned south and went down to Castle Rock to Terry and Frank's. While we were still in Utah, we started picking up snow and then a lot of ice on the road. It actually got pretty treacherous for a while, but then it cleared up. And then as it got later in the day and it got dark, we ran into a blizzard in the mountains, still a few hours west of Denver, and literally the entire interstate was stopped. I can't remember if there was an accident. For some reason I recall there might have been a jackknife semi, but whatever it was, we were stuck for quite a while. By the time we got to Terry and Frank's in Castle Rock, it was late. We were really wore out and glad just to get someplace and rest. So when Mom and I got back to Texas, we started learning a little bit more about this new area where we live. And we discovered that the infamous outlaws from the 1930s, Bonnie and Clyde, were actually from Dallas. And a lot of their crimes and robberies occurred in the same area, generally around where we live. In this photo, Mom is standing next to a memorial for two of Bonnie and Clyde's victims. Those victims were Texas State motorcycle officers, Officer Wheeler and Officer Murphy. This was 13 days before Officer Wheeler was to get married, and it was Officer Murphy's first day on patrol. The day was Easter Sunday, 1934. The location was Dove Road, just off of Texas Highway 114 in South Lake, which is about 4 towns over from where we lived. So this is what happened. Murphy and Wheeler were driving on 114. They went past Dove Road and they noticed down the road a car off to the side and assumed it was a motorist that needed assistance. They turned around, came back, parked behind the car, and just gotten off their motorcycles when for no reason they were brutally and unnecessarily murdered right in the street. They died right there on the road next to their motorcycles. The whole incident was witnessed by a farmer who was sitting on his front porch just a short distance away. Now, Bonnie and Clyde had killed people before this, including police officers, but it was always like when they were trying to escape from a crime they were committing or in the process of the crime or had some other reason. In this case, it was so brutal and unnecessary, it just incensed the population. In fact, because of this double murder of these police officers, that would actually lead to the demise of Bonnie and Clyde and their gang. 2 Texas Rangers were tasked with tracking down Bonnie and Clyde and bringing them to justice. But Bonnie and Clyde would not allow themselves to be taken captive. So the Rangers tracked them down to Louisiana, and with the assistance of some other law enforcement officers, they ambushed Bonnie and Clyde and took them out. When they killed them, they had numerous weapons in their car, including approximately 3,000 rounds of ammunition. After they were dead, their bodies were sent back to Dallas, and they were buried in separate cemeteries. Bonnie's parents would not allow Bonnie to be buried next to Clyde, even though that was her wish, because they saw what he had done to her life. As a side note, Clyde's first arrest was for a crime he committed in downtown Denton when he did a burglary with his brother. He also apparently knew somebody in Lake Dallas and would go there to hide out, which is extremely interesting. That was right next to where we lived. And we also know that he would use a doctor occasionally when they were injured and needed to be doctored, who was in Louisville. And the house where that doctor used to practice and live has now been turned into a restaurant. We used to eat there all the time. So there's just some interesting information about Bonnie and Clyde. And we'll see you next week.